Right. Welcome to Pool League, guys. We talk about the wacky and the weird. I really only investigated or researched. Turns out just government cover-ups, just the whole time. We're going to start off with crop circles. And I love crop circles. I'm very excited about them. And I do believe in the phenomena, because they're just too perfect. They're fractal dragons and geometric shapes, and sometimes they're like very cryptic messages. I think they're really cool, and I don't understand, how else these things could have been created because, like, what they have in crop circles there, it tests positive for radiation. And like they've had these hoaxers that take the little board and just kind of,
That
make
seems
this.
like that would take so much time, you know?
There was this group, and it turned out these two guys, what was their names? Oh yeah, Doug Bauer and Dave Chorley came out. In the 70s, these guys decided it'd be fun to trick the public into thinking there were crop circles.
Oh, I do remember that, yeah.
And they showed, their technique of taking the board, but like all of the
It wasn't perfect, though, you know?
no, it was definitely not perfect. And when they pushed down like the wheat, it was like all messy looking, in like genuine crop circles, it's this beautiful sweeping pattern, like it's meticulous. And you know what? Okay, their story has so many plot holes. They couldn't decide on what year they started. Every time they were asked, it was a different year. And you know how they were like, well, how do you get in there and make the crop circle without a footpath? These guys in their 60s said, we pole vaulted. We pole vaulted into the circle.
That's
and
how we did it.
Pole vaulted out because we're like Olympians at like 65. But it turns out they were paid by the British government
To say they did it?
to discredit the phenomenon, and actually had to sue the British government to get the rest of the money they were promised because they were given half up front. And but yeah, the government did a lot to
What if
discredit.
crop circles are just like alien art?
It is. It's like,
It's like,
this is the neat thing about like genuine crop circles is there's something called a ghost. It's like the ghost formations, where if you mow or like you cut down the field, the image that was there stays there for like a couple of years. And there's these little metallic beads, like metallic orbs, on all of the wheat after they're created, and it's magnetized iron. So you wouldn't get that for two pole vaulting retirees. They wouldn't just sprinkle in some magnetized iron.
you don't know.
And
They're secret pole vaulters. We
yeah,
don't know.
I mean, look, if they've got the ability to do that, but also in the wheat, like it's like the knuckle of the wheat. It's called a little node. It's elongated. And when a scientist looked at it, he's like, this is what happens when you expose plants to electromagnetic radiation. That it was radiation that caused
Yeah.
the mutation in the plants. And you also don't get that from pole vaulting retirees. So those are kind of the things that differentiate like a real crop circle from the the fakes. And it's one thing there was this yeah, do you remember that crop circle where it's like an alien face and then it's like a CD disc? And
Yes,
it's
yes,
got a
yeah.
little binary thing?
Yeah.
I think that one was faked. I think they faked that one too. Because it's not like, crop circles are never like that direct in their messages. It's always super cryptic. It's pretty, it's up for interpretation, it's geometric. But okay, the message said in the binary, which, that would have been a great feat for them to make this message in binary if it was fake. I mean, I still think it's fake, but it said, beware bearers of false gifts and broken promises, much pain, but still time. Believe there is good out there. We oppose deception, conduit closing. That is kind of cryptic, but I still think that was, that might have been created because it's just so much different than the other ones.
Yeah.
The other ones are just like geometric and like these precise sort of, one of them was a pictorial, like, description of pi, like
Yeah.
the numeric series. And so I thought that was neat. What that was also, it took like a mathematician like over a year to figure out what that one was. But yeah, there was this Operation Blackbird. It's a military-funded program to observe the phenomena of crop circles. And they had this guy, Colin Andrews, who was very serious about crop circles. He was a scientist, but he wanted to document it and witness it. Well, they're supposed to be monitoring these fields like all night long. And they woke up one morning and there was a crop circle. And before he even got a chance to investigate it, they encouraged him to go public, go talk about it. And he did. Well, it turns out the crop circle was faked, and the military was told, like, to just let it happen and to discredit him.
Yeah.
And he called out the military, said they was sabotaging the project. It just so happened that they were having a very covert military operation, very close to that area where they were like very much under the radar observing the same thing. So they were trying to, they've been very sneaky about that. Like, and of course, you know who they hired? Guy from the CIA. You want to spread disinformation and distrust in a, conspiracy theory community, you send in the CIA. And yeah, there was one guy, what was his name? Let's see, James Schneebel.
Well, I mean, if your last name is Schneebel, just
Schneebel.
give
Yeah,
up.
I automatically don't trust you.
Schneebel.
Well, he was working there, and so he was spying on everybody's conversations, and then going back to other researchers, like misquoting, like, what people said, just trying to cause trouble, just trying to cause some distrust in the researchers. And of course he was a CIA.
Chaos.
Yeah.
Crop circle chaos.
Crop Circle Chaos. And also what was funded was a website called Circle Makers. And there was these guys just openly trying to recruit people to make fake crop circles. And I don't know how they got away with that, because like, if you're gonna make crop circles, you're trespassing. There's destruction of property.
Yeah.
And like, they like even posted where they were gonna go, and nothing happened to them, because guess what? They were funded by the British military too. The guys who ran it were in these apartments that technically did not exist. They didn't have any addresses. And when you'd look at like, street maps or like in the buildings, those apartments weren't even supposed to be there. So that's pretty covert, Oh, yeah, like once, like people who have observed like crop circles being made, they would notice like there was like this mist over the crop circle, and that was the moisture from the plants being released from the radiation that was used to cause.
Well,
them.
when you cut grass, plants scream. You know what I mean?
No, I hate that.
And that's what that fresh,
That beautiful fresh grass smell is, it's their little blood.
it's them just being like,
No.
they're all chlorophylled out.
This, non-consensual haircut that it got. Yeah, and like, I want to tell the aliens, radiation's not good for us. I appreciate the artistic effort that they've put into all these things, but, pregnant women, people who have immune deficiency disorders, people with heart problems are discouraged from going into crop
Crop
circles.
circles.
I think we should all be discouraged from going into them.
Maybe that's what happened to Stephen Greer and why he's so crazy looking. He just spent too much time in some crop circles.
Yeah, just
He's
kind of-
crazy looking.
He is. He really like. Yeah, he looks like if they came out and said he was an
We
alien
had
human
some
hybrid,
human hybrid, it would be Stephen Greer.
I would be like, it shows.